a nostalgia critic. I remember it so you don't have to. In 2008, the film Hancock got negative reviews from critics, mixed reviews from audiences, was practically tossed aside when Dark Knight came out a few weeks later, and to quote Shaun of the Dead,
I like it.
Okay, so heads up, I am literally editing this the day after a certain event happened. These are made weeks in advance, and as such, I wasn't able to make any jokes about it, but the irony is so sugar sweet. At the very least, I have to point out the spots where a joke could have gone. I swear, this was not pre-planned. The film about a hero everybody should like, but don't because he's too violent. I found won over more people in time than I thought. If you type in Hancock on YouTube, you'll find it has a pretty impressive amount of videos with a pretty impressive amount of views. And apparently, this did have more of a following than people thought. With that said, I can't pretend like it's a great film. Especially when, like I said, a great superhero film came out weeks later. My guess is folks were hoping this would be what The Boys would eventually be, a deep dive into human and societal problems with troubled superheroes replacing troubled celebrities. And while it does start off as that, it does take a different turn that, while not as powerful, was still interesting. I think this movie deserves more love, and we're gonna give it that today. So let's sit back and remember when this was almost a thing. Let's take a look at Hancock. The film opens with Hancock, played by Will Smith, passed out on a bench while a gun battle on the freeway takes place. He responds the same way I do when someone points out I made an error in my videos.
What, you want, a cookie? Down on my face.
He flies like Nicolas Cage would have in Superman Lives and attempts to stop the criminals, causing arguably more damage than if he didn't.
You want down?
This is one of those rare movies where the lines aren't always that funny, but the attitude is super funny. Smith brings a certain likable unlikability. And I think everyone fantasizes at one point what they'd be like with superpowers. Half the time you'd see yourself as noble, but admit it, you'd think about how fun it would be to be an asshole with them too. This plays into that fantasy in a pretty fun way.
This is where you live.
Yeah.
Your fortress of solitude.
It's a couple trailers I stuck together.
Some people argue it's how this film was conceived, a couple of trailers stuck together. He hooks up with a woman who seems to have a kink for superheroes, but relationships with him is a little complicated. Okay, the porno parody already has the name. It doesn't need more to work with. Most movies will cut away after that joke, but I love they actually show him trying to be nice to her, but she still ends up running away. Seems like this separates the film from just being a one-joke movie. It really is trying to establish a layered character.
Good morning, everyone.
We're introduced to a PR man named Ray, played by Jason Bateman.
Ray's like the Bono of PR.
So if he works with a superhero, make sure it's not Spider-Man. But it looks like he's too much of a bleeding heart, as his charitable ways don't go over well with big business heads.
The all-heart symbol. And here's all you need to do to qualify. Your new TB drug. We would like for you to give that product away for free.
For free?
Obviously, this doesn't go over well, but it could be worse. He could have missed the train. Okay, I know it's a superhero movie, but unless that train wreck looks like this, I'm calling bullshit. Ah, crap, I gotta issue a joke tax refund on that. Ray sees how poorly Hancock handles himself with people.
She should sue you! Well, you should sue McDonald's, because they fucked you up, all right?
I spent one day in Chicago and I came out looking like this. And this does result in maybe my favorite line.
And I can smell that liquor on your breath.
I've been drinking, bitch!
Can't argue with his logic. He drops Ray off at his home, where he meets Ray's wife, Mary, played by Charlize Theron.
You would not have believed it. I came this close to getting hit by a train.
If you know where this movie's going, these shots drive you a little insane. They hold on her too long. We know something's up.
Look at that, huh?
He's offered dinner for saving Ray's life, and while again some of these lines aren't the best written, Smith knows how to make them work.
That's some good meatballs, boy.
Aaron.
Mama's calling you.
That is so stupid, but everyone I show it to chuckles. To the film's credit, you do kind of forget about the shots lingering on Mary because she shows she clearly doesn't care for Hancock's ways, which makes sense at the moment, but makes even more sense later.
Did he just take the whiskey bottle to the bathroom?
Do you want him to kill us all?
Ray offers his PR services to change Hancock's image, which at first he rejects, but thinking it over, he has a change of heart. And if you told me this film would have a drunk superhero Will Smith battling a young French Michael Myers, I'd say shut up and take this meme-printed money.
You're gonna stop calling me that.
Asshole.
That's not my name.
Asshole.
If you've met anyone French and anyone American, you know how this ends.
Call me an asshole one more time. You're all right, you're all right.
Well, his kidneys are now in his heart, but aside from that, he's fine.
Oh, stop crying, punk ass. Go ahead.
Not gonna lie, if you told me this whole movie was Halloween Kills, I'd like it more than Halloween Kills. He's shown images of what he should be like in a scene I doubt Smith would shoot today.
Homo.
What about that?
Homo in red. Norwegian homo.
I'll give you that.
How about these? Ray's an arrow. And Ray comes up with the idea that Hancock goes to jail for the damages he caused to show people how much the world needs him.
I apologize to the people of Los Angeles. My behavior has been improper and I will be participating in anger management treatment. You deserve better from me. I can be better. I will be better.
As you'd imagine, there's a lot of people he put away in prison, and I never got how people who already lost to a guy with superpowers think they're somehow gonna beat him the second time around.
You don't move, your head is going up his ass. Asshole.
So I'm split on this joke because in the trailer, it only showed their reaction.
You don't move, your head is going up his ass.
I think this is similar to Liar Liar, where the censored version is surprisingly funnier than the one we got in the movie.
Everybody's been real nice.
Well, that's because you have big...
With that said, you probably are paying to see if they have the balls to show one guy's head going up another guy's ass. And they don't disappoint! And like that director Tom Six said, what if that was just the beginning? Passes as Ray tries to instruct Hancock on how to be a better hero, and also goes to recovery meetings, which, since this is a movie, means it has to be dark as hell with very little lighting. Anyone else notice this weird cliche? The group is supportive though, and crime does indeed start to rise, but Hancock is still trapped inside, drawing some very specific symbols. It looks like he's drawn this a couple times in the movie. I can't wait to see what it all amounts to. Okay.
You got a phone call. Chief of police.
The chief of police calls though, saying he needs help with a bank robbery. Ray even got him a special boring-ass suit for the situation. Yeah, I really would have liked a more unique outfit. I think you could argue his drunk clothes are more iconic from this movie. But I will say a superhero with official shades is kind of badass. I love too how his flying is trying to be super cautious of not breaking the ground when he lands, so he always looks a little awkward. Thank God that suit is made out of the same bulletproof material as him and comic books. Cover your ears, new teens. This PG-13 film has 2 F-bombs.
Do I have permission to touch your body? It's not sexual. Not that you're not an attractive woman.
Smith looks pretty surprised his character wasn't the one to use that in this movie. One of the robbers has a detonator that if he lets his thumb off will blow up the hostages.
I want you to break into the vault. You'll find 3/4-ton pallets of small bills inside. $30 million.
Uh-oh.
That's me trying to act like I don't make that every year. This is another one of those segments where it's funny, but some clever editing could have made it funnier. Here's how it should have played out when the robber calls him an asshole.
Call me an asshole one more time.
That would have been funnier than what we got, with the guy screaming and the hostages being released in slow-mo. But again, the comedy of this film really is more about the attitude than the timing. Hancock is now the world's new golden boy and gets invited to all sorts of high-end events.
Kilborn and Jeremy Hamill. Huge. I can't take that. Insane.
Ignore him, he's from Roseanne. He's not gonna be in anything long-lasting for a while. They discuss his backstory as it looks like 80 years ago he got amnesia and woke up with superpowers. I don't know, it's more detailed than Anakin's existence.
What kind of bastard must I have been that nobody was there to claim me?
And yeah, okay, admittedly I should have put together Mary's connection to him at this point, but I will admit, this upcoming scene really surprised me. Takes me back to prom night. It looks like Mary is also one of these super people. And while yes, this is certainly a different approach than probably most people were expecting, I am still pretty sucked into it.
Hancock sneezed, huh?
She says the giant hole in their wall is from Hancock sneezing, and I will admit, now I'm wondering if every woman who couldn't open a jar is just playing us.
Knock, knock.
Hancock understandably wants some answers and has a pretty humorous way of getting them.
I can do this all day.
I like to thank Captain America for permanently ruining the answer I give to this Trivial Pursuit question.
We're the same.
No, I'm stronger.
They meet at his place where she agrees to answer his questions if he agrees to leave LA afterwards.
Who are we?
Gods, angels, different cultures call us by different names. Now all of a sudden it's superhero.
Holding out for a sequel where he battles Super Jesus. She reveals that they're the last of their kind, but she doesn't seem to be telling the entire truth.
Who are we to each other?
We're brother and sister.
That's a lie.
I'm your
That
sister.
is a lie. Sisters don't kiss brothers the way you kissed me last night.
Okay, I'm never deleting this picture because this joke weirdly comes up a lot on the show. Hancock, of course, doesn't believe they're brother and sister, and for someone who wants to keep this a secret, she sure does pick the most public of places to fight. Oh no, she can make tornadoes. That oddly doesn't work into this battle much. Ray sees them though, and it's time to come clean.
Why are we flying?
I'm very strong. Technically speaking, he's my husband.
This is all a lot to take in. Just answer me one question. Could you open that jar? She says they always come in two, and somehow they're always drawn to each other. No matter where one goes, the other is always nearby. I actually think that's a pretty cool concept, especially for a superhero story. He goes off the wagon and uses the money from the job he doesn't have to pay for booze, where the cashier finds a pretty clever way to show he's being robbed. Oh my god, Baja Blast! How can you not love a movie where a Zagnut bar wins over a gun?
A Zagnut bar versus your guy.
Melts in your ass, not in whatever Zagnut's catchphrase is. But it looks like a bullet pierced his skin. As it appears, the more him and Mary are around each other, the weaker they get. Again, a neat idea. They're both somehow each other's strength and kryptonite.
Insurance policy of the gods. You, to protect this world.
I'll admit I don't really get how she says he's meant to save people and she should be at a distance, seeing how she said she's technically stronger than him.
You're built to save people more than the rest of us. That's who you are. You're a hero.
I do it, but I love Forensic Files and it practically has its own channel now, so I'm stuck.
Every time we're together, they come after you through me.
I guess she's more accident prone though, because whenever they're together and they lose their powers, he has to save her all the time.
4 BC, they came after me with swords. You saved me. 1850, they set our house on fire. You pulled me out of the flames.
She says to get to him, people went after her, which again is odd because she had more powers. When they get to her, just to get to her? I'm not sure if I'm missing something, but it is a little confusing.
The further away you get from me, the better you're gonna feel. You'll start getting your powers back.
Their acting really does sell it though. Even with its lack of detail, I'll just say it, I find this a more interesting Eternals movie than the Eternals movie. But much like Eternals, the villains kinda suck. As it's only in the last 15 minutes, I guess they become a main threat. Remember the robber with the missing hand and the inmates who were Legoed together? They team up and try to kill him, which feels more like the ending villains for Blank Man than this. Her strength is gone, but his is back. Yeah, okay, this climax is a little lame. But Hancock is very protective of his loved ones and realizes in order to save her, he has to get further away. My favorite thing is Ray watching his wife essentially die, and his reaction is like, she's like a million. She's robbing the cradle with me when you think about it. Hancock flies away, she returns back to normal, and 1 month later, they joke about being immortal like it's, well, to be fair, a Will Smith movie.
What about Attila the Hun?
Completely cross-eyed.
Queen Elizabeth?
D.
Yeah, well, what about actors looking for Oscars? How needy are they? Oh my god, I swear this wasn't planned! And this phenomenally messy three-way relationship is just wrapped up, not with a bow, that'd be insulting, but rather a big pretty heart.
You're gonna change the world.
I've broken God knows how many laws doing it, but now the moon looks like it changed its profile picture to raise awareness about something you'll forget.
I get in trouble for that?
We should probably see a therapist for the buffet of isms we've acquired for this, but screw it, the moon looks like a Care Bear's tummy. They rip off the shot from Daredevil because if there's a superhero movie you want to steal from, and I mention yet this ending's pretty weak. But I don't care, I still found this entertaining. Like I said, it's not a great superhero film, and my guess is a lot of people thought it could be. But I was still engrossed for most of it, and well, yes, this feels more like a superhero movie and its sequel in one flick. They're still both done in an engaging way. Yes, I do wish there was a deeper film in here, or one that could keep focus a little better, but the acting, ideas, and overall attitude is enough to win me over. It's a shame they never made any sequels because this is a hero I would love to know more about. You could dive into his past, discover other immortal heroes or immortal foes, see where the relationship between the three of them goes because that was not a satisfactory conclusion. I keep hearing they're gonna make another one, and I guess if everything goes according to plan, they will. Oh my god! All I can say is, I check it out. And going by the amount of hits on YouTube, I think other people would too. Nothing phenomenal, but I think it's entertaining enough to say it's a pretty good time. I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy, remember? So you don't have to.